Greetings all. I'm going to try to do a quick video demonstrating the quick and dirty method of recording your part using Garageband on an iPad. This should work with the iPhone as well, or even if you're doing recording with a Mac of some kind, you should be able to do this with your Garageband software. So let's get that started. So I'm going to go on my iPad and I'm going to scroll over to my Garageband icon. The Garageband icon, it looks like a hollow body guitar and it's in a red and orange square. Okay, this is free on the App Store, so if you have an iPad, iPhone, or a Mac, you can get that free from the App Store. Okay, all right. Now it's giving me a warning that I'm using AirPlay and there'll be some lag, and I understand that, not a problem. Okay, so let me start from scratch. Okay, this is the GarageBand home screen, typically the recent screen. You may be on the browse screen, but the recent screen is where this is. I'm going to click on the plus icon in the upper right hand corner to create a new project. Okay. Now, typically it's going to default to the tracks and not the live loops, but you want the tracks. And then usually it's going to default to audio recorder unless you've used something else recently, but then you can just scroll over and find your audio recording. Now, even though we're using instruments, select the voice because we want to use the iPad's microphone itself, and not we're not plugging in a guitar as it would suggest in that instruments pane. Usually that's when you plug something into the headphone jack with a guitar output or keyboard or something like that. All right, so this pulls up the channel screen. Well, the first thing we need to do is set our volume levels for recording. Now, I've already set this, I've done this a couple of times in practice, so it is already set to where it should be for recording a French horn, or recording my French horn here in my studio at about 3 or 4 feet distance from the iPad. But I'll just quickly demonstrate. If you have the volume level, it's going to default usually to around here. And you can see right now, just with my talking, it's going up to the red. We never want to record into the red. It creates distortion. And distortion is unusable in a recording situation. So we want to make sure that we bring this down to the correct volume level so that it's not bumping up into the red. If it touches the yellow, that's okay, but if it hits that red part, that's the problem. So the quick and easiest way to set your volume level is to take your instrument, okay, play your loudest passage and your softest passage. You want to make sure that the loud passage is not going to the red, and you want to make sure that the soft passage is still registering at the very bottom levels of those the green part of the meter. So here's Blastissimo. Okay, just a teeny bit of red there, so I'm going to back that off just a teeny bit. Okay, all right. So once you get your volume level set, the only other thing I want you to do is to take the tone control, put it right to the center, put the compressor down all the way to nothing, and the vocal hall all the way to nothing. Now those are effects that are added to the playback of the track, but I don't want you to add any extra effects. I will take care of adding every effects and reverb and things and making it sound more natural when I have everybody's part together and I'm editing and splicing it all together. So just leave it as 0 for that. Okay, now we're ready to record. Oh, almost ready to record. A couple other things that we want to take care of in the settings here. Okay, I'm going to go to the icon that looks like a gear. Okay, and the default for GarageBand is set up to be more of a songwriter's tool, so it's going to automatically want to set up in like bars, groups of 8 measures. So we need to fix that, and then we can also fix the metronome and count in here. Okay, so we're going to do the tempo. Now the tempo of the click track is actually, it varies quite a bit. I followed the recording when I set that click up, so I'm going to set it to 95, and that'll give us kind of a good overall tempo. But we're going to turn off the metronome, and notice the time signature set at 4/4. That's fine. Again, we're not going to use the metronome during the actual recording process, so it's fine. And then the thing that I want to do is you can see on the screen up here, it's giving you the beats and the measures. I need to set that to, yeah, there we go. The plus button brings up the song sections. Again, it's section A. It defaults to these 8 measure things. So what we can do is click on that, okay, and then we're gonna select automatic. That means that it's going to automatically just record until we're done. It won't stop at any point, and then we're good to go. Alrighty. And then I want to, now the metronome is you can see the metronome icon is blue. We want to uncheck it so that it's not going to sound off in the recording. It'll probably click at us when we first start it, but then once it actually goes into the recording phase, it will not play the metronome for us, because we don't want that. That would distract us from the click track that we're playing against. Okay. Now on my PC, that's my playback device right now. So my PC is going to function as my playback device, and I'm using Groove to play back the click track. And now I'm ready to go. So I'm going to lay down, attempt to lay down a French horn part for you, or as I call it, the dying moose. Me, the dying moose, playing trying to play the French horn. Yeah, we're good to go. So we're going to hit record, and then we're going to start our playback. And then again, just to help me out, it will save me a lot of time if everybody gives me a verbal count off that matches the metronome. 1, 3, 1, 2, and then start playing. Okay. So here we go. 1, 3, 1, 2. And I'm going to stop and save y'all from the rest of the torture. Now, assuming that I did the entire song and that it was okay and acceptable as a performance, and that's the nice thing, you can go back and you can listen to your performance. Again, all you're going to hear is yourself playing the French horn. You won't have any reference to the rest of the group and intonation and all that, but at least you can hear your articulations and how you sounded. And if you're not happy with that, you can go back and do it again. Now, if you messed up on one part of the song and you want to go back and just fix that one thing, you'll need to go and do a multi-track recording, and then so you'll need to check out my multi-track tutorial to show you how to do that. But yeah, if you're able to go in one shot through the piece and do it without errors, some of y'all are good enough to do that, and that's great. So that's the way to do the quick and dirty method. The last thing that you need to be able to do is to export your piece, or export your track. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the track view, and on the upper left-hand corner we have the page, which would bring us back to the home menu, the browse menu, and then we have the channel view, and then I'm going to click the track view here, and you can see it. That's all the stuff that we just recorded there. Okay, and it's just that little chunk of the song that I did the first strain. But okay, and so now assuming that we did the whole entire piece, we're ready to go. We're going to, you're going to want to share this with me via the Dropbox. So I'm going to go back to that screen. I'm going to hold down the icon for the song that we just recorded, the track that we just recorded. I'm going to rename it. Okay, use those conventions that I laid out for you, please. Again, that just helps me with the getting everything organized in my project set up and getting all the sections and the parts lined up correctly. That'll make everything a lot easier for me. Thank you very much. So let me name my track appropriately according to the convention. So we're going to do second, because I was trying to play the second horn part, but of course I'm actually a dying moose, so that's what I'm going to put down there. And then let's see, the convention was name, and then the song title. And again, that ordering helps me figure out where everything needs to go in the project setup with pleasure. Okay, so now I've named the track to the convention, and now we're gonna do share. So what we need to do here is we're on that screen. I'm gonna hit the browse icon. Okay, and then in the Garageband logo there again. Now I'm going to hit the select button up in the top right hand corner. I'm going to select my dying moose part. that I just recorded, and then it pulled up the menu on the bottom: share, duplicate, move, delete, more. Okay, I want to share that. Okay, I want to share the song, not the project, but the song. Okay, and that's going to pull up this menu, and this is where you're going to select the quality in which to send to me. I'm not sure what it defaults to, but please select the uncompressed wave at the bottom. Okay, if you've used your iPad recording before and you may have it set to 48 kilohertz and 24 bits, that's fine. You can send that to me. I can certainly accept a higher quality recording. So if it's 44.1 16-bit, that's fine too. That's exactly CD quality. That's what I need. Okay, so I can accept that or higher. So we're going to hit that, and we're going to hit share. And then this is where you can use the various services to share it. Now, typically what I do is I would select Gmail, and I would email it to myself, so I have a copy of it. That's the first thing I would do before sending it to anybody else. So you can just, from there, you can email it to yourself. Now with a WAV file, it's usually too big to email. So I know that in Gmail, for example, it wouldn't actually email me the file. It's too big. It would create a Google Drive folder for that particular thing that it's sent, and then when you email it to yourself, you'll have access to the file because it's just too big to. It's too big to send. But in this same menu, you can have access to Google Drive, OneDrive if you're using that. If you have Dropbox as part of your setup, you can select a number of those things. Or there's an Apple one too, AirDrop. No, AirDrop is for the actual Macs, I think. But yeah, the Apple Drive, whatever they call it, online Apple stuff. So that's how you share it, and then that's it. That's the whole process. So I wish you luck, and good playing. Bye-bye.